All right guys, we're here at Walt's Gym here in the small town of Troy, Alabama in the deep south. Walt's Gym is just an old school bodybuilding gym. We're gonna be taking you guys through a good quad-based leg workout. Normally on a leg workout like this, with my powerlifting and strongman background, you'd see me deadlifting heavy, squatting heavy. But right now we're in a true bodybuilding phase. I've got plans to step on stage this year, and the thing I need to do the most is bring my quad size up. So that's going to be the focus today. So it's going to be a very different style of training than what a lot of you guys are used to seeing from me. It's going to be a lot of machine-based stuff. You know, we're not going to be barbell squatting. We're going to be Smith machine squatting. We're going to be leg pressing, things like that. They're just going to truly isolate the quads and give me the best shot of chasing pure growth there. So we're going to take you in and get started. So we're going to start off with a few sets of calves, a few sets of adductors, then we're going to get on the leg extension. I'm going to pair that with a leg curl. We'll get into the Smith machine for a narrow stance squat after that. We'll get in the leg press, then we'll finish off with a single leg dumbbell RDL. All these exercises we're going to be hitting 2 work sets, shooting for 6 to possibly 10 reps, going about 1 rep shy of failure. That's the game plan for today. Possibly the most underrated machine in the gym, the Good Girl machine. Now, people see this, they think this is for the fitness chicks and the old ladies. Reality is, so much of your leg size is all adductor, and this is the best machine to target adductor growth. So we're gonna load the hell out of this thing, get a couple nasty sets on it. It's also just a great warm up for when we get into the squatting and the leg pressing and all that. So don't sleep on the Good Girl machine. One thing I like to do is start off my lower body sessions with calf work. Number 1, getting into the squatting and stuff, opening up some ankle dorsiflexion with the calf work is just gonna help my mobility over there. 2, my calves are my worst body part. I've got to bring them up, so I'm gonna prioritize them. And then 3, training calves is just boring as hell. If you put it at the beginning of your session, you're more likely to actually do it, as opposed to if you leave it for the end and then you're tired after the squatting, the leg pressing, all that. A lot less likely to do it and care about it at that point. When the weight stack doesn't go heavy enough, that's where the gym pen comes in handy. We're gonna have to load the hell out of this thing. I'm gonna even have to put a few dumbbells on top of this thing, really jerry-rig it up to make this heavy enough to go where we need to go. This is not ideal, but we've got to make this a really heavy set to where I'm hitting 6, 8, no more than 10 reps and getting right up to the brink of failure. So got to do what we got to do to beat the logbook here. Every session I get on this, I'm trying to either add reps. Once I've kind of reached the top of that goal rep threshold of 10 to 12 reps tops, we've got to bring the weight up. So over the course of time, I've had to find more and more ways to add weight onto this machine. So here we are. Now the key here is praying that one of these dumbbells doesn't fall off and hit my foot, but we're gonna grow these adductors one way or another. After every set I do, I log this in the notes of my phone. I'd love to do this in an old school actual logbook, but the reality is I'm gonna be able to find this much easier. It's not gonna get wet. It's not gonna get sweaty and smudged. So every session I'm inputting what was the weight I used, how many reps did I hit. So I'll literally put stack plus 50 pounds of plate weight plus 70 pounds of dumbbell weights. The next time I hit the session, I know exactly what I need to beat to continue progressing. The way I'm progressing this load from last week, I hit the top of the rep threshold I wanted. That's it. Now if I just match or exceed the reps from last week, that's progress right there. Okay, moving on to the leg extension. Now, normally starting off with calf raise, Good Girl leg extension, that would be like blasphemy for me. I mean, normally like I said, I'm in the squat rack, loading it up heavy, but that's not the goal right now. The goal is add tissue to the legs, and we're gonna start on this. Quads are a weak point for me. And then it's also just gonna get the knees nice and warmed up when we go over. We do some deep range of motion squatting in the Smith machine. the leg press. So starting on this, and I'm gonna pair it with the prone leg curl. Another reason I like to do the leg extension and leg curl before we get over to the Smith squat, the leg press. At that point, I'm already pre-fatigued, so it's gonna force me to go a little bit lighter, which will be less stressful on the low back, and then plus fresh in the Smith machine, you know, I can get up to 5+ plates, but after all this, you know, 3-4 plates would be a good enough challenge to get up near failure in that 8 rep range. I like pairing agonist, antagonist muscle groups sometimes. It just helps with consolidating time. By the time I get to the squats, my knees will be super warm on the front and the back. Again, getting that pre-fatigue effect. Shout out to my guys over at Troponin Supplements, Justin Harris. Field Rations, their intra-workout product. I sip it during all my workouts. It's highly branched cyclic dextrin based, essential aminos, electrolytes, great product. So I'm a big believer in intra-workout. You know, this is just helping provide continued blood glucose for me. The highly branched cyclic dextrin absorbs right through the stomach lining into the bloodstream, pulls those essential aminos with it, getting that recovery process started. Moving on to the Smith machine squats and the leg press. I'm gonna throw on the Olympic shoes. It's gonna give me a little bit of a heel lift, allow me to really isolate that knee flexion, really isolate the quads, as opposed to getting a whole lot of glute, posterior chain, low back involvement on these compound movements now. One more thing we're gonna do to add even more knee flexion to this movement, using the slant board. It's gonna be another 15 degrees heel elevation while I can still keep my foot flush to the surface of it. So I'll be able to keep a completely upright torso, and it's just basically all quad, all knee flexion moving this weight. This is a very humbling movement for me. Best squat is 661, 300 kilos, and getting a completely quad isolated version in the Smith machine, narrow stance, heels elevated, not being able to use any posterior chain and utilize the strength of my erectors and my core. Humbling. Moving on to the leg press, we're going to go with bias the quads as much as you can. Low foot position on the plate, narrow stance. Get as much deep knee flexion as we can. Really slow the movement down. Get a big pause in the stretch. Make lighter weight as challenging as possible. And then the good thing about this being the last quad movement of the day, at this point I'm so pre-fatigued, I'm not going to be able to put a million plates on this like I could if this was the first exercise of the day. So 8 plates aside on this will still be a challenging set at this point. Okay guys, that concludes that quad base leg day. My quads are smoked. Got some great nasty work sets in. Progressed all my lifts from last week, which is exactly what we want. Progress week to week to week across every lift, incrementally bringing the calories up and up and up as we go, staying lean. Next thing we know, we've piled on significant tissue. So that's the goal for these next few months. Really emphasizing growing the legs, bringing up the quad sweep, bringing up the calves, so we're ready to jump into a prep, bring something freaky to the stage. Now, most important job next, eating. We're pushing the carbs and the protein all day. I finished my diet a couple weeks ago. Calories are coming up slowly, so I'm still lean, hungry. Food is not that high yet, but over the course of these next few weeks, those calories are gonna go up and up and up as we push for more size and keep filling out. So catch you guys next time.